Hi. In the next few minutes, I want to talk to you about the steps of performing a teaching as research project, the process of doing a cycle of inquiry around teaching and learning. The first step, honestly, is to get excited. Go and visit classrooms, see some interesting spaces, think about how you can improve a learning community or imbue inclusion and diversity in a classroom environment. Step two is to try to define a research question. What hypothesis could you apply to that kind of environment that you might like to learn about? Following a definition of a research question, it's time to explore the literature and see what literature says about the particular research question or the classroom or learning community environment that you've started to look at. Often, after you've looked at some of the literature, you'll go through a continuous process of refining your research question, limiting its scope so that it's something that is measurable, achievable within a cycle of inquiry on teaching as research. Sometimes a TAR project will involve human subjects research, and you might need institutional review board approval. But not all TAR projects will require that. Most TAR projects are exploratory and introductory and don't require IRB approval. The next step is methods and evaluation. What experiment will you do in the classroom? What is the intervention that will help inform your research question and hypothesis? How will you design activities that provide data that would inform whether or not your idea is a good one? Having developed an intervention, you will then go and do it, whether it's a classroom, learning community, or learning through diversity environment. You'll look at student learning outcomes, attitudes, what faculty do, changes in practice, changes in learning outcomes. Whatever it is you've designed as your intervention, you will perform the intervention and collect that data that's part of your evaluation metric. Having completed that, the next step is to analyze the data. What does the data tell you? Is it informative about the choices that your hypothesis thought were important? Importantly, after analyzing the data, you'll report on your teaching as research project. You'll reflect on the process of inquiry. You'll get input from your peers. Think more about the ideas. And that process of reflection will lead you to the final step, which is how you might iterate the intervention that you designed. That's the full cycle of inquiry, from becoming excited, to defining a research question, to doing a literature review, to developing an experiment with methods and evaluation metrics, to performing the experiment, collecting the data, analyzing the data, reflecting and reporting, iterating on it, all to inform better instruction.